Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 guitars. We have a Squire Jazz Master on the bench today. We're doing some pickup mods. We're swapping out the bridge pickup with a humbucker. It's got P90s in it, no coil splitting or any of that nonsense, but it's got all the other goodies that a Jazz Master kind of comes with. But going from P90 to a humbucker style pickup, this is an upgrade because this pickup right here came out of a Fender Corona, California, US made Stratocaster, and the customer wants to put it in the bridge position on this Squire Jazz Master. This is kind of his experiment guitar that he likes to play around with. Well, he has me do the work. He comes up with what he wants to do, and he asks me to do it. So let's get to work. And remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. So you can see everything that's going on here, sort of. He already took some of this stuff apart, I think in an effort to save me some time. Not really, because the crux of this job is going to be, that's got to go in there. And these usually come with a pickup ring, which is something that looks like that. And they go in there, and a screw goes in with a spring in it, and that's how you raise or lower it to get your pickup height. No bueno. This is not going to fit because P90s have the same kind of, this is just a cover that goes over the pickup itself, and they mount through here with springs underneath, right? Kind of like a jazz bass, and kind of borrowed from the jazz bass, although they added springs, and the screws just go right into the wood of the body. So where we're going to go with this, and I've kind of eyeballed this quite a bit before I turned the camera on, off camera, call it what you want. Of course, it's a metal pick guard, and just as sure as God made little green donuts, I'm going to probably scratch this guitar. I'm going to try not to. With a plastic or nylon pick guard, you don't usually have to worry about that, but this one's going to be a little more tricky. So I'm trying not to do that. Even it's a Squire, but it's still a kind of a new guitar to the guy. So this pickup has to come out. We need to desolder, get it out of there. But before I do that, I'm going to show you kind of what this is going to appear. Kind of sort of like that. And the way I'm going to do it is use the same screws and springs that came out of the P90 style pickup. And we're going to use these little mount screws, right? These mount holes right here. We may have to drill them out because these are threaded. These are not. These are wood screws. So, because they have to go into wood. And now, here's the modification part. It has to go down somewhere in that position, and I'm going to show you how we place it. You can't just willy-nilly start drilling it in. We're literally going to have to run a string from the low E and a string. When I say string, I mean a string. And get a placement set where right close to the control cavity where everything goes here. But I think we're going to be okay. And they're really small screws and going to be really small pilot holes. Over here I'm not worried about. We have plenty. And then the springs will go under. The screw will go through, the spring will go under, and that way we can raise and lower and have the adjustment that's necessary. You can't just throw a pickup in and hope that it's going to be at the right height. But when we run the string, that will tell us also if we're low enough to begin with. And then if we have to, we can raise up. And I'm pretty sure just by kind of looking at it, it's already just lower than this one, which means probably we're going to have to cut down springs to make it be viable. I know the bridge pickup is usually a little higher. At the end of the day, I am not 100% confident that this will work, only because it may be too low. It just may be too low, and you got a lot of screw there that's got to go all the way through and take up a whole bunch of spring. And if it doesn't, if it's too long, then we're going to have to source out shorter screws and a much shorter spring. But that's all part of modification. This is not a simple do-it-yourself at home pickup swap. If it comes to having to route this out, no, we're not going to do that. But I think we're going to be low enough to start that I can put a type of screw in there with a type of spring and have enough adjustment to get where we need to be. But we're going to find that out once we mock everything up. And again, that's kind of what modification is. You got to do mock-ups. So the first order of business is going to be to remove this pickup and get it out of the way, because I can't keep just moving it and swinging it around. There's only 2 wires coming off of it. I'm going to off camera, I'm going to desolder it and get it out of the way. Then we're going to start the mock-up process, so stand by. So we tried the white string, the no bueno. What we ended up doing is sacrificing a set of, I think I used a set of 9s. We put the saddle and the bridge assembly in, ran the low E and the high E string. And the reason we do this, and this is crucial, this is critical, not only to find out, because for our purposes today, to get our humbucker placed in the right position so that the strings are going over the pull pieces like we want. We know if we get the high E and the low E set correctly and mark it, that's where that pickup is going to live. We also have to be able to, because we're modifying so much on this guitar, we have to make sure that we're going to have enough adjustment with this saddle, which doesn't go with this guitar. This is from something else. This was from a Fender Jazz Master. This was from a Fender Jazz Master, not a Squire. Customer did that before he came over here. I wish I had the original Squire stuff, because I really kind of, I don't know, maybe he left it out for a reason. Now, second, we're going to be okay. I have taken some measurements. We are going to have string action up and string action down adjustment. This pickup, we know we can move up and down because we haven't changed it. This one, this is the next problem. Trying to use a screw and a spring type of configuration like is under this one and would normally be under a humbucker with a pickup ring, that's not going to work. So further modification is in order. I can tell you that it's way too far away. We're not going to need a whole lot of adjustment, but what I did was I went to my shop and we're going to use some rubber grommets that are going to go under. After we mark where we want to be, these rubber grommets, and they're squeezy, so they'll compress and they'll open up, and we're going to put them under the. We're only going to use 1 screw right in the center of each side of the pickup. There's 3. We're only going to use 1, and we're going to put a wood screw in there, a short wood screw, just enough so that it doesn't poke through the back, of course. And that is going to give us the lift. Once the pickup is sitting on these little rubber grommets, we'll be able to lower it a couple of millimeters or raise it a couple of millimeters. And that's really all we're going to need. That part we got lucky on. I already test fitted it. How do we arrive at all this? Well, you take a straight edge to know where your saddle and your bridge assembly is supposed to be. It should just kiss. You run down the fretboard with a straight edge and it should just touch. If you're way up or way below and it's running over it, you're not going to have enough adjustment. I've done enough of these to know that once you get to this juncture, if you don't take this careful measurement and mock up with the low E and the high E, you're going to have a heartache later on. So we're going to pause there. I'm going to get ready to set this pickup. I'm going to mark it. We're going to drill it and put it in. Yeah, exciting stuff. Stand by. So here is the most critical part of this operation. And yes, my head may be in the way from time to time, but I want to get this pickup centered in the cavity that we're working with so that the reveal here is the same as the reveal here. But even more important than that is making sure that our high E and our low E are over one of the magnetic poles. That's crucial. It's critical. They don't have to be exact, and they likely won't be because this is a modification and we're retrofitting this pickup into this guitar. But I kind of like that. You got a really good reveal here. Oh, I just moved it, see? And there's no way, there's no book on this. You can't go, well, I don't know, or go to YouTube or, you know, how do I do this? Well, Eddie Van Halen was doing this crap back in the 70s when he was a friggin' teenager. Frankenstein. And yeah, you want to take as much time as you can with this. Make sure your reveal here is clean, here is not so important, and that your strings are going right over pole pieces. And I'm going to call that good right there. Mark and mark. My marks go through. No. Start over. Get a better tool. You rat bastard. Alright, I know I got another pick somewhere. Yeah. It's the story of my life. It's the story of my life. I'm thinking this little guy right here will work. Nope, that's the one right there. Alright, let's do that again. Reveal, reveal, whole piece. Got good coverage there, good coverage there. I think we can go over this way slightly. Yeah. Point of no return. My holes are there. Oh, there's all kinds of goop here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's my mark right there. Let's line it back up. Of course, the wire is fighting me a little bit. Yeah, I can't see. There it is, right there. That one should line up perfectly, which it does. And that is where that pickup is going to live now. And then we're going to put our spacers under there, and we're just going to get the right size screw. So the next step is, got to source out the right size screws. We got quite a bit of material there. I'm going to go with like an inch, maybe a little bit less, but it's got to be a really small screw. I'm going to pause here, get these strings out of the way because now they're just in the way. because I want to be able to drill the holes, place these, and get some screws in there where they need to be. Stand by. So you can see that we mocked up our low E and high E string again. The reason I did that was to check my work, which the low E is going right across the pole pieces here, and the high E is going right across the pole pieces there. That tells me that when I put the rest of the strings in, they're going to go where they're supposed to go. All right. We know that we have proper adjustment here, and I just checked with the little rubber grommet system that I fabricated for that. If we check our pickup height, it's a little low, and I tightened it right down, which means we'll be able to pull it up and get it. That has to be adjustable, within a couple of millimeters, and I think we got lucky. Now it is tilted a little bit towards the back, but I can shift the rubber grommet a little bit to level that out so that both pickups on the humbucker are semi-level. Even when I work on Les Pauls that have humbuckers or whatever carries it on, they're always tilted and cattywampus a little bit, but I'm pleased with that outcome. I know that I can adjust my string height, and just to prove that, we have a couple of strings on there now, and I know that they're really low. And I just want to illustrate that with this saddle, that pickup, and this pickup in there with this bridge assembly, we are going to be able to adjust and get where we want to be so that we can move forward, solder the electronics together, just to see where we're at right at the moment. I know it's low, so we should be able to get up to where we want to be. Which is 5/64 there, and we still have some adjustment left. We're really low there. Yeah, I'd driven these back down. I hope I'm in the camera a little bit here. This is all testing. This is all test fitting. And if I can't get string height and pickup height 5/64 and 5/64, that tells me that I'm going to be able to adjust to this guitar after I solder all that in. This is a one-off. I've never done this. I would doubt that anybody has ever done this. I mean, something similar to it, I'm sure, but not this exact guitar with this exact pickup, which is a Fender pickup out of a USA Strat that the customer wanted in this guitar. This is also from the same, he took this out of another, another Jazz Master, and this is out of another Jazz Master, a USA, that he upgraded to better stuff, but he's now upgrading the Squire to Fender gear. And I can appreciate that. I understand his thought process behind it. Excuse me. But we are where we need to be. And we got there by taking a lot of measurements. We had to sacrifice a set of strings. I was going to try to do it with just the yarn, but no, I really needed to know, am I going to get enough adjustment here and here? And am I going to be able to move this pickup that was never meant to be there? At least move it up and down a millimeter or two to make sure that we're not too close or too far away. Magnetic field and such. So yeah, we're going to stop there because it was a lot of work off camera. It was quite a bit of work on camera. I hope you dig what I'm doing. It's Blackjack with 396 guitars. We're going to do a part 2 on this guitar. Check this one out and hang in there for part 2. We're going to finish this guitar up and make it play. We'll talk soon.